Even though being sick is no fun, it always gives me this rare opportunity to grow in compassion for others. Let me show you what I mean while I hit this workout. You know, I'm starting off with some mobility again here. This is one of my favorite hamstring activations. This method of mobility, it's heavily based in PRI, Postural Rehabilitation Institute, if you've ever heard of that. It's really interesting stuff. I'm not going to get into it here, but I would definitely recommend Googling or YouTubing some of that information. This is connecting breathing with hamstring activation. So what you're going to do is press your foot into the floor, making sure you sense your heel, inner arch, big toe, and even your pinky. Make sure you're sensing your whole foot into the ground. Once you feel your hamstrings, preferably like mid or upper hamstring, it's okay if you feel a little bit of the bottom hamstring towards the knee, but I would prefer people to feel some mid hamstring when they do this. You lift the opposite leg up, push with the opposite hand, as you see I'm doing here, and once you're pushing your hand against your knee and pushing your knee back against your hand, that should give you your hip flexor. Make sure you're sensing the hamstrings activating and also that hip flexor on the opposite side. Then once you have that, you're going to breathe 5 seconds in through the nose and then breathe 5 seconds out through the mouth. It's important that the breath is silent and the exhale is noisy, like you're fogging up a mirror. If you hear yourself breathing on the inhale, you're breathing a little bit too fast, and I'd like you to slow that down. So just make sure you're expanding from the ribs. This one here is neck cars, cervical cars, controlled articular rotations. This is from FRC, Functional Range Conditioning, and you're basically just trying to take your neck through the full range of motion. I love this. It makes me feel like I loosen up my neck, and also it's really relaxing, especially if you have a little sunlight on your face like I have here. It's a great way to warm up the neck in all directions, and it's just preps my body for exercise. When people watch me doing this through the window, they always say, "Oh, you look so relaxed when you're doing this." It's also relaxing, just for me at least, hearing the cars go by and just being outside by myself in the sunlight, getting a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of vitamin D. I usually do about 5 reps, I guess full revolutions on this exercise. And when you do these, you'll hear your neck crunch, and that's okay. If you haven't tried any of these exercises out, I highly recommend you play with them and see how they make you feel. When you're stuck in bed or just not feeling 100%, it makes you realize how much you take your health for granted. Every time I get sick, it always recalibrates my mind to appreciate being healthy and also to have compassion for the people who can't get over their illnesses and are chronically ill. 2 weeks ago, I caught something, and before I was done recovering from that first thing, I caught a second thing, and that one hit me a little bit harder. I had chills, no fever, but sore throat, sore back, my joints ached, the upper part of my neck starts to ache too, like when I get sick. When you're feeling healthy, you rarely thank God for how good you feel. Same thing with your car. Like in the mornings, you rarely thank God that your car starts. It's just a given. When you sit down in a chair, you rarely thank God that that chair did not break. But the moment your car doesn't start, the moment your chair breaks, or the moment you don't feel good and you're sick, then that's when you start praying to God, asking Him to heal you or to fix your car or whatever the issue is, But it shouldn't be like that, I don't like being sick, but I am thankful how it recalibrates my mind to be thankful for my health. Next up is Bulgarian split squats. These are brutal. Right here I'm using 53 pounds. I know it's kind of a weird number, but these weights are in kilos, so they're not in even pounds. 53 pounds on each side. I think I get about 9 or 10 on here. When I'm done with one side, I have to take a break and do the other side after I catch my breath. I prefer doing Bulgarian split squats over barbell squats. It just makes my joints feel better when I do it this way. It goes for everything really. I prefer to do dumbbell bench over barbell bench. Prefer to do Bulgarian split squats, single leg versus double leg squats with the barbell. Man, Bulgarian split squats suck. I always get so winded from those, and I feel like I have really good endurance. Like, running comes easily to me. Running miles, 2 miles, like that's really easy. But get me on a Bulgarian split squat and I get winded. I've got to take a break before I switch legs because I can't get right into it. When I do the Bulgarian split squats versus the barbell squats, just makes my joints feel a whole lot better. So that's why I tend to gravitate towards this exercise. Usually I won't do more than 12 just because then it becomes like an endurance exercise. Once I've maxed out the amount of reps I want to do, then I'll try to move up in weight. I really try to make sure I'm sensing my whole foot and that I'm not, I guess, pronating or supinating my foot, I guess going to the outside or overly flat foot when I do this. So just making sure I'm sensing the main parts of my foot. So if you want to think about like the first digit, the pinky and the heel, making sure I'm sensing those as I'm coming down and that my foot is stable. Same thing with my hips, that my hips aren't shooting out to the side whenever I'm putting force through the ground and lifting myself up. Being sick is always a really humbling reminder of how fragile we are. You feel invincible until you're laid up in bed, sick, can't move. It's crazy how much we rely on the intricate processes that our bodies perform every day. It's crazy how much we rely on those to keep us well. And it's not even something we think about until we're sick. You know, your body does so much stuff every day to keep you well and healthy. And it's not until it fails and it gets overloaded that we realize how much we need those things to keep us healthy. It's a weird thing to think about, but that's why it's so important to prioritize your health. You know, that's what I've been doing this year, trying to prioritize my health. Because when you lose your health, you can't get it back. And right now, you know, I just got sick, like with a cold, but think about something more serious like diabetes or cancer or things like that, some of those chronic illnesses can be, they can be prevented. Not everything, but a lot of those things, at least you could decrease your chances for it if you take care of yourself. So that's why it's so important to prioritize the health, because our bodies really are fragile and you don't realize it until you get sick. Next up is quad extensions. So when I do this, I try to get a good squeeze at the top and then do about 2 to 3 seconds eccentric. This machine I really love, and it's better than any other machine I've used because one, the legs come out, they can move individually. It's not just one pad for both your legs. And then two, I feel like it just allows your legs to come back really far, further than the other machines I use. So you get that big stretch on the quads. I'm a physical therapist. I've been practicing for 10 years now. The first 7 years of my career, I worked in nursing homes. And unfortunately, you get numb to all the sick people laid up in bed. Most of those people can't get out of bed. And at first when you work there, you're more in tune with it. But after doing it years and years, I wish it wasn't like that, but you kind of become numb to it. You start to forget to put yourself in their shoes on how they may be feeling until your body breaks down and you get sick. You know, that's how it is with me. I hope that this kind of helps change your perspective and you can see the good in being sick. That, you know, for most of us when we get sick, it's only temporary. It only lasts a couple days or a couple weeks, but there's a lot of people out there chronically ill who can't get out of bed Maybe they've had cancer, maybe they've had other things going on. There's a whole lot of other illnesses out there that can leave you bedridden, but you know, it's an opportunity to step into the shoes of some of those people. Next up here is leg raises. I love these for the lower abs. I feel like they just really target the low abs really well. It doesn't take many reps for me to fatigue from this. I think I get like 9 or 10 and I'm done. But usually I do 2 sets of these. I really like captain chair also, but when I don't have a captain chair, these are pretty effective as well. I've seen a lot of people do hanging leg raises, but for me, I've just never connected with my low abs very well when I do those. It feels really good to be able to work out again after you're sick. It feels refreshing to be able to use your muscles and work towards something. Workout complete, about to hit the shower and head to work. But in the end, being sick is no fun at all. It's not fun being laid up in bed, not able to do the things you want to do. You know, headaches, chills, body aches. None of that is fun. But if it allows you to feel a little more compassion for people and to, for a moment, step into the shoes of those who are chronically ill, I mean, is it really that bad? I think it's worth it for that change in perspective. You know, I thank God that I'm not chronically ill. I don't know how it feels to be like that for months or years, you know. Thank God that I do have my health. But I'm thankful for the sickness in that it allows me to, for a moment, just step into the shoes of those who you know, chronically don't feel well. So I hope this sheds some light, gives you a new perspective on things, and I'll see you in the next video.